Hello, hello, welcome back to Tales of Arise. Let's get into it, shall we?
Hmm? Yes! Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden? I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them, too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Ganans?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay. Ah!
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Harros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary, remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're...
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than...
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own...
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were even if they did terrible things?
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danon doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan, I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a...
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfricht Milgrath, the former Lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfricht whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland.
And that never...
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as the...
True, but if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception...
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood.
With any luck, the forbidden...
No use standing around...
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Dan and But let me tell you, I haven't changed either.
If killing me will bring you...
Dohalim!
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance, my sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do.
Sure, that's it. Run away like all... You're just a...
Dohalim.
I apologize that you...
Is it true?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said?
She has more right to my life than...
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the... I have no intention of expiring before I do so. Besides, you have just as much...
Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I... Avakir, Faria...
Tarnigan. He was
once my dearest, closest friend. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music, entranced by her playing. I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority, and introduced her to Tarnigan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song.
A friendship based on mutual respect. In a society where everyone is a
I suppose it's natural.
I would have. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes, and even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. Tarnigan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins. But fate was not...
What happened?
Tarnigan was no match for me in combat. But he was desperate and low on options.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right?
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved. And by her friend's hand, no...
So instead you let her go on hating you. So she could use that hate as a crutch.
That's not the same as running...
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always, but...
Do you think he'll be...
Yeah, I think so.
It's important to have someone...
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to...
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough.
I hope you're... Alphen,
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe. But I... Still wanted to say thank you.
This is perfect! I'll have every...
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Oh! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menentia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Do it! I'll stop your movement!
I'll stop your life.
Even descent! Flashing fang!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's
Indeed. They seem to recognize... And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zoogles during...
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves.
I've never seen anything like...
Maybe someone doesn't want us here.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
There's always room for improvement.
Gotta break through. Break it!
This one's mine. You really don't give up, do they?
See what
our eyes on the prize. Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Right, here goes! Time for the flaming strike to be let free!
Holy glimmer!
Back to the blade! Time to cross blade! Now, into glue! There!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop. Do it! Lock Xion, astral energy, full throttle! With this, I can become even stronger.
No choice!
Showdown between blade and fist.
Back to the blade! I'm on it! I'm not done! I'm on it! Severing wings!
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
Go no further!
Here I come! There! It's on! Big blast! Severing wings! Force blast!
Do it!
Slide!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Right, here goes!
Save you!
I won't show you any mercy! It's over! No escape! My turn!
Xion, astral energy, full throttle!
My turn!
Go!
Strike! No escape! It's over!
Let's refrain from losing. This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell?
That vision.
That person Alphen was speaking.
It was Naori.
She really does look like Shion.
That's all very well and fine, but what did...
It was a conversation we had 3...
You mean all of that really happened?
But how is that even possible?
No.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened,
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation.
That would make sense. After all, for all we know, perhaps we're...
So you think it might have been the energy it's...
we have no way of knowing. Maybe it's...
Shion.
Yeah. It was all... So that was my ancestor.
Yeah, there's certain...
What about you?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of reliving painful...
I can't just pretend. Besides, if it helps us uncover...
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is...
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Not that I'm complaining.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait,
What's wrong with her? She does...
Yeah, you're right.
summoning?
But that's preposterous.
We can talk later.
What? I've never known Faria to control moves like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the super. Then we get some answers.
Shattering the pieces! Attack time! It's weakened! Here!
This ends
Another
now!
victory! Astral energy!
Say no more. Take this. Back to the blade.
Tripwinding mine!
Ruin care.
Crash blade! Eagle assault!
We've got him on the run.
Delicate combo!
Right. Still in it. Wind. Here comes the big one.
I'll be saving this
You're mine. It's over. First strike.
Vanished without a trace beyond the dark
Here I come. You're mine. River.
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Now it's just her!
Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought...
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved.
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died.
And you believed me?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good...
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor...
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, But that's why we're fighting.
Indeed. Ridding society of...
You can't... I know it hurts to hear. But those people are dead. Forgiveness, accept...
So I just forget...
No, the opposite, in fact. Not for those already passed.
For those...
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead.
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on. What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's
that voice?
The will of Dana's ask.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us...
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, and I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truth, and I think they may be the kinds of truth.
I'm sorry.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, we might very well learn the truth. I have to be ready to face anything. I'm determined. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out.
We should go through that room some more before we move on.
This look...
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone.
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. We should go through that room some more before we move on.
I think I can make this...
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy. The creation of a governing central code name...
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilize that must be the map. With all this raw data...
About the Lords.
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of... Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise... In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made...
What about the Sovereign?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines.
What is it?
It's a list of names. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds each. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects.
But what about the winners of the crown?
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule. When a new sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post. But according to these records, there have only ever been... It's all lies. The crown contest was never about deciding a new...
But even supposing that's true, someone must have...
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact, meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie.
The Red Woman... It's possible. But she could be working for someone else.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records?
Not that I can see. There's nothing here about who's behind all... I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign. And Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain... valuable information.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell. His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lennigus will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen. vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegus.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegus crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Only 2 Sovereign. So why has the experiment only Was there really no other way?
Dohalim.
Forgive.
Alphen.
I'm fine, but it's strange. I've got...
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd...
Yeah, we would.
That's right. No good.
If you ever start to lose your way, you...
And I would be happy to lend an attention.
This place. We've seen this.
Of course, after 300 years, the spirit. This is where the
So this is the place...
The Renis Alma isn't here now.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be...
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control.
Is this another memory?
What we did back then. Not so all in the name of a ceremony. A sovereign. They linked the Renis Alma was intended to control his power. That day, as maiden, my role was to temper his power.
Linked to Lenegus itself?
But that power showed me a vision. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of... But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. I did what I could. But it was too late. Lenegus had already been brought to its knees, with the destructive force now slumbering inside of me. Especially since that... In which case, ironically enough, that at least would hold the astral energy dormant. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power. That's what I hoped. The Renis Alma was lost. And Alphen, the Sovereign, my only choice, was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my power. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the... Please, forgive me.
Wait, you...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danan voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities.
And they appeared.
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark.
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores, and by that logic, it would stand to reason that the...
We have a maid. Now all we need is the Renis Alma. Shion.
It's possible.
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and...
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relief. Just hearing there's the slightest chance.
No, it isn't! You found hope to believe.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and...
Thank you. Naori and trust.
Starting with a little game called...
Yeah, we've come all this way.
Yeah! We can protect.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge.
And they say modest...
Miracles just seem to follow.
How do you know it's me they're following? Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose. She stopped my rampage. But then, that power she'd sealed away. I'm so sorry,
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony. You paid a heavy price for it. The reason you lost...
Is the reason for your...
The thorns.
It all leads back to them.
When my thorn... I never dared to dream that such a... No. The truth is, about a light, the touch of my family, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things. I always wished I could experience them for myself. Is it really okay? I'm so scared of... What if it doesn't work out?
That's not going to... I'm here to make forget fate or destiny. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do.
Yeah, it's such a... I know that we've still... And it's for my sake.
You're worth fighting.
I believe you.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long until our future is finally in our hands.
That's quite some door, all right.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the...
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for...
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on...
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The one separating the...
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh?
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way.
Bullrun. He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Oh, once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in the machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible?
Here we go. Go. Oh shit.
What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Freeze, Lancer! Annihilation!
All finished off with this. Got you an end.
Right! Point blast!
Here it goes!
Stop!
The world freeze!
Now I'm in the groove.
Vacuum
Not
blade!
in your dreams!
You're mine!
The power of
My turn! No escape!
Here
I'm
goes
not
lightning
done!
descent!
Vacuum blade!
Magic is there!
Dragon Here I come!
Roll now.
Mega Sonic
Anything in armor is
No
on.
escape!
I never miss!
Solid sword. Armor won't save you.
Raging
You're mine!
Here's the evil! Ow! Freeze, Lancer!
You'll get it!
Done the
Steel
job.
Here I come!
power of water!
Blow away.
A chain between animators!
Damn!
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more.
My turn! Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Dana have meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
It's too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything, who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen...
We can but hope.
Those red women, could they be the ones behind all this?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissalma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over...
They have the Renaissalma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have...
Then we're agreed.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Brennans or Danans.
Yeah, and not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron.
Tell me about it. One minute they look...
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon.
So what were they then?
Is the most terrifying...
How about you, Shion?
No, never. However,
I had just so much I want.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance.
Both sound plausible to my...
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
managed to pull through.
That enemy looks strong.
I've got a really bad feeling about this. Sealed.
Eat dirt!
Glimmer dragon! Here I come! Watch this! Rise and shine! Dance in the wind!
Here I come! No escape! It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Do it! Neon! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Now! Here I come! I'm not done! Force blast! We did not care! You're finished! Strike!
Explosion! Now! Shooting star!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood. What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone?
Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing, so she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd—
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegus from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegus right now?
Lenegus wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegus. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Elda Menancia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegus, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegus, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright, or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnigan's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegus till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegus who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be? after the second chance that I've been granted. From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenin can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan Lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
Sorry about that.
How long have you
Known what?
about the darkness I carry inside me? You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then.
Leave the past where it belongs. If my brother
Not as proud as he...
Well then.
I thought we'd find answers on Lenegus, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegus.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renaissalma. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive.
It's also entirely possible.
If we come across a cabin... What? Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
flower blooming out of...
But that flower looks like it's
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here.
If that's true, do you think the people...
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
A flower of oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to
Unfortunately, yes.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines.
So what? We're just...
I don't believe we're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we...
Law, calm down!
You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies that floated amongst the stars in the heavens. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us here?
Someone formidable enough to bring our starship along with us.
They must be here somewhere. Let's find them. Kisara? Among other things.
You were thinking about Doha.
I was just thinking how good it is. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable... But now?
So...
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it?
Must be that
Rinwell's right.
A pretty big...
All this has made me realize, if Dohalim can forge...
Ah, Shion, just an...
No!
What the...
No,
Again, Law?
Seriously, it's fine. Besides, I'm the one who
Actually, I've been meaning to ask.
I guess I never really... Before long, it was just part... Which isn't to say...
So numb to your reality?
It's fine.
But...
I appreciate... Until I get rid of these thorns. Maybe it'll be soon?
Yeah. Just...
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with...
Before I answer...
We did not come to this place by choice.
In that case, we can assume my brother...
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying...
What did you do to...
I examined your bodies. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among...
Oh, goody.
Do you think...
Like it or not, it may...
I shall now answer your question. The red women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Date Phasal, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation, as I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and...
A question. What is this great...
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass.
A voice?
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds?
The true ruler of Rena.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the... I'm not sure...
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden...
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will...
Dana's will hasn't...
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and... Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among... So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge...
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral... As a result...
Is that why the crown contest is necessary?
Indeed. And it was to that end that we Helgan had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegus was severely...
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channel. That is why...
So that was the real purpose behind the crown
This is all happening.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's...
First, it was to confirm the identities of you.
A request?
I wish for you all to...
I'm sorry, did you just...
I did.
What makes you say...
Lenegus has entered the final stage of this... As we speak, if nothing is done about the great...
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier...
We won't let...
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly?
No. My primary concern is, as such, it is my desire to see how your...
Vengeance?
In spite of our long service to the...
You mean...
At this stage, it would be wise. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have...
Others?
I am the only Helganquil.
Hey!
It's no use.
You can't seriously be buying anything that...
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long.
At the very least, everything it said about the... That being said, Had we not previously encountered...
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana come.
But why?
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're...
Right.
There is one other... How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevric 35 never even brought up the Renans one.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps... Let's find out.
Goodies.
Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Hmm? Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. But be quick.
What a weird...
He must have meant Hevric 35 when he meant...
And what was that about subject?
There isn't anyone else we found here.
Have you guys lived up here in Dig Phase?
Yes. I couldn't tell you. We regularly go into stasis, so our sin...
Why are you all even...
Originally, this station was where
We heard that the facility ended up in its...
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident.
And you've been working...
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to... As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan...
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously.
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information. It's a pretty sophisticated operation. I have to imagine that...
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great...
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil.
You act like this didn't affect you personally.
I mean, sure, I was surprised.
Hevric 35 has clearly ceased...
Who can say?
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lennox?
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth... After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed things are going... Not that it'll be around... That said, I'm sure...
Thank you for answering our... Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the
Well, for starters...
Where?
From Rena? Wait, are you
Of course not. There's really no such...
Excuse me?
Oh,
Apparently not.
Please, tell us...
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally...
Oh shit. Really?
But if that's true, then that would...
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their...
But what need could they possibly have to create a...
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. In essence, we were created to carry on their work. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts. That's why we, as their descendants, can...
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans?
Wait, that explains why almost—
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. They have these tiny machines that are—
Enough!
How can you speak—
I guess I can see how when viewed in a certain light. But if you ask me, I think if it meant their hands had to get anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renan. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets.
I see. Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while.
Ready then.
Do you know anything about a spirit?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a— Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's—
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and
We have a winner! However, the first plan failed when the— The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told— For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renaissance. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana.
And the crown—
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role. A new sovereign had— It was such tremendously difficult work. Its success was dubious.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the—
What about the flower that sprouted?
Flower? Oh, that thing. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy.
Hevricht 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final—
It is. I never thought I would live to see that. Are we done talking now?
He talks like the potential end of the world.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a
It feels like our whole world has been turned—
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we—
Let's take a moment to gather. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in.
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never—
Everything that's happened,
And to get that energy, the Greats and the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade—
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot— Why don't we all take some time—
That's a good idea. If the Renan Great Spirit really is, because it's not just Dana on the line, but— So let's go ahead and break off for now. You sure you don't want to—
I could ask you—
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around.
I'll go along with you.
Sounds good.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot.
Oh, it's you two.
He who?
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all.
What do you think about everything we've learned?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think. But if that thing's hellbent on trying— As for the Renans—
How so?
Coexistence between Danans, and in my case, I think that's partly because— So... to be told that they're like us. That they're actually—
You kept it—
You mean about the Renans? But at the same time—
I know you're already aware of this, but the list of grievances— And if people then find out that they're all actually one and the same—
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that—
Well, first we can try to figure—
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like—
It's no small task. We can't pretend like—
Right. Everybody has their reason in a worst-case scenario.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway.
That's an interest—
It's true. Everybody has their own scar. It won't be achieved, but I think it's a good first. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that—
You both seem off.
Only because after everything we've seen...
How are you holding up, Rinwell?
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down. And there might be...
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I know, but even so, I was thinking maybe, I don't know.
Rinwell.
That great spirit Dana's will feels so warm and inviting.
Now that you mention it, Everett 35 and the other side...
Maybe. But regardless...
We won't.
I still can't believe...
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe...
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy...
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleum?
It was really that...
Yeah, it was. But thanks...
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen.
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back. That was no way to live. But all this talk about other races and the world ending...
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, and when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, but that's when I finally got it.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled...
The thing that's all I want to do is protect the people that...
Not everyone is...
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he... Law, you know you're strong enough to fight. And forget all the big stuff going on.
Yeah. It's like a fight to protect the people around...
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away in mere seconds.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard here is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one. I can only imagine that you must have been constantly feeling like this, ever since your...
That's just part of being...
Well, to say the least. But,
When you say the other Renans...
Correct. Even if we stop the great... Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lenegis, or come down to
And at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to... There is, after all, and the victims of our rule have absolutely every right to feel animosity.
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be so down.
Menancia's fate was... There had been backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way.
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that On that note...
Oh?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator, as the one and only Blazing Sword.
And I take it that you'll...
Yes. However, the fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danan's... Is it...
No, relax. You get...
You're too kind.
That's some high praise.
Then I'll ask once again.
You don't even need to ask.
Thank you.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning.
What about you, Shion?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked right now. It's...
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, I thought I'd die alone. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean, how could I have? It's been going on for 300 years.
Okay,
All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helganquil's part in all this, it's been even longer than that. It was Naori's hope that somehow, how it fell on us.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the... She considered me a I don't think she wanted the world to be saved.
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that, she said that the first step down, that means forgiving other people.
Forgiving?
Yeah. I don't just mean forgive. If we have any hope of moving...
You know, you're right.
It's not going to be easy, but if we can do it, I'm there with you, Shion. I think that's the very least I can...
Yeah. I will...
Whoa there, Savior Girl.
Yes, I know.
Well, is everybody...
I am. There's a lot. I don't care who we're up.
What are your thoughts, Alphen?
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great... It's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's that alone is enough to make it, but it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tough.
You're saying there's...
You're referring to the vision of destruction?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that... And to hear Shion tell it, it's the same one.
Indeed. Shion's thorns are and if Rena's Great Spirit is what...
Shion's thorns are the Great Spirit?
We don't know anything for certain.
While the main body...
Shion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's Great Spirit.
The question is how... Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous. Large enough to house the will of an entire... The Wedge and Lennigus were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right.
And we only know about the thorn...
Hevric 35 has been It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a...
Right back. I'm back. I have to go for a second in 5 minutes, but I am back.
Are made up. Let's go give Hevric 35 our answer.
So if the Sovereign and Maiden were originally Buddha
Even with the Forbidden Zone in ruins and the Renaissance stolen, Lennigus is functioning fine.
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for, then you're
More importantly, who do they think we are? We might not even factor into...
I just hope worst comes to worst. Lennigus is equipped with a large number of starships that people can...
Wait, in any case, if we're truly...
Right.
Do you have your answer?
We want to ask. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. You must have something up your sleeve.
The great astral spirit is an immense being. Rather, its will is derived from the core, therefore, if you destroy the core, the great spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience.
And how are we supposed...
By using the Renaissance... You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and... Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit...
Hold on.
Yeah, killing herself to take...
She was actually...
By my calculations, Your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy...
What will happen to the maiden once...
any matter contained within the field...
So it really will...
This method is the most simple one available to...
What are our other...
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action.
You don't get it. I promise we didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the vet.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving...
That's...
It is vital that you proceed with this plan. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the Great Astral Spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, that is why it is now without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit.
No.
Wait, Naori said that the Renis Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy. If so, can't the same also be done to...
Well?
It is true that the Renis Alma is capable of what you suggest.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control, considering that the Renis Alma was previously lost when that ceremony...
What does that mean for us?
Your starship will not be restored.
Why you...
Fine, then.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, if you're fine letting that happen, and we want to stop Dana from getting destroyed, if all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in life.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies...
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a
So our only option to retrieve it is to...
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena.
So right in the middle...
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral... What will happen to Ren...
Without the will of the Great Spirit...
So you're saying that even if we
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages.
Man.
Havrek 35 and the others have gotten used to fix our starship.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves. Remember that.
It matters little to me. Repair work on your starship has finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Havrek 35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to fry after listening to...
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. But you changed that, Dohalim. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to... Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still... But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good. When it comes down to it, Renans are just...
That is, in essence.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, but as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away.
I understand what you're saying. But realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more. That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in...
You'll always have a home in Well, if you ever need a helping dough.
Did you just... Thank you, Kisa. I appreciate your patience.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different, don't you think that brings down a barrier that... Yeah,
Hey, why'd you call me here?
Well, so I wanted to
apologize?
I was being real stupid before. I get why you're angry now. Anybody, so I'm sorry.
No, Law. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you?
Yeah, but I think I
believe?
Remember how I used to really resent...
Yeah, of course. Because you...
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to... It was the first time. I felt like then, when I felt Dana's will, it made me want to believe my powers were made to...
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right?
Remember what I said? That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you. I sensed it when we first got here. But I think that's how Dana's
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will in a way. Doesn't that mean...
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes to...
Yeah.
Heverick 35, but... You know what? I don't need to ask, so thanks, Rinwell, for sharing. To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dan... I feel like you and I had grown apart.
Huh?
Never mind.
Huh?
Saying, I was saying anything. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Spit it.
You sure you don't want to get some...
I can't.
Same as you.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the low...
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened...
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have my memories back.
Hey, Alphen?
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renaissance, like Heverick 35 said, the only way we can end... I need you to promise me, Alphen. You'll use the Blazing Sword to destroy...
Huh?
It's true the Blazing Sword may not have this, but it's taken us this far. It's...
You can't be...
Listen, the Great Spirit isn't just our... We don't know what's going to happen when we face it. But I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. But if it comes down to...
Okay, but you should know that I'm not going to give up, and I hope you can...
Alphen, okay. So it's a...
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched... My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen. But when you reached out to me, and gently... I don't have words for the
That's because I couldn't...
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out. But still...
You won't have to worry about...
You think so?
I do.
No. You can tell me...
Everybody get enough rest?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only to send...
We're fighting for a new future.
Right. We've come this far.
Then let's go, everybody.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Heverick 30?
I can see anywhere within the bounds.
Sounds like someone's a...
Maybe we should give Heverick 35 a break.
I have unlocked all functions on your...
Warp drive? Wait.
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on...
Using the warp drive, you should be...
Wait.
You'll need to be careful. Due to the...
So, once we reach the shell, it appears...
We gotta go all the way...
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great...
The extinction of my people... As such, it would be illogical.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit?
Well...
Hold up.
You heard the lady. Get...
I have one last... What? As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predict. Similarly, The Maiden lacks any identification. Despite this,
We exist because others have entrusted this to us.
you mean it is because of multiple chance interaction? Why have you two continued?
It's hard to explain. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
I wonder just how many people have been saved by Shion in some form. I'm impressed.
There's rumors flying around about people being saved by a Renan vision of beauty.
Vision of beauty? That's a bit much.
Alphen had better stay on his toes.
Is the Renis Alma really our own?
Shion's Fire Master Core was able to suppress astral energy. To prevent it, couldn't we make you—
I'm not sure.
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not—
Hevrect 35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem—
You're probably...
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the Hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude, until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
Ready time.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dana suffer the same fate. Ever. Always good to be back in familiar territory. Hey. Yes. Just great. How's got it?
Hey! Yay!
All right.
Hey! Is this about dinner last night?
What?
Rinwell.
Oh, yeah, right. So,
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's...
right. So it...
I don't know, makes them more intimidating.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldier...
Can't say I'd ever...
Connect the...
Okay, let me get this straight. You think...
Huh.
It would mean...
Not... hugely?
Get him who... Oh, now you... Ow, ow.
Hey. Hey! Yes! Right.
Sure.
I don't believe. Ah! Okay! Great. Good.
Nice.
Ah!
But this...
Wow.
Yes.
Oh!
Amazing!
Nice work. Very nice.
Thanks.
Yes.
You know, guys, when you think about...
You can say that again.
Isn't it weird that they're still so plentiful?
Certainly in all of my years, I've never heard of them
The only thing I can think of that...
There's also no organized effort on our...
Exterminate them?
What do you mean?
Zeugles originally used to be living creatures native...
You're right. Zeugles were only
First people made Zeugles, and then we let them go.
I hope we find a way...
It's a nice thought, but they...
Aside from the strays that have gone wild, it's worth...
If we had distinct territories that...
Well, I guess when you look...
I'll see.
Do you sense one of your
There it
friends,
is.
Poodle?
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Word. This must be the work of Providence.
What now?
It means destiny. I think it's a bit of an exaggeration, though.
You're only just noticing?
That's the one. It's hard to believe I want.
And all with the mask concealing your face.
Back then, we had our plates full enough. It never occurred to me the air itself was
I think that's called...
You mean that water that's been festering under the sun?
Oh, I know!
Water alone won't suffice.
In that case, let's see if we can rustle up some rock salt.
And then...
Bit of an overreaction.
Maybe it's not the time.
I know what you mean. We're back where...
You don't ever...
Are you kidding? You Hey.
Huh? Yes. Oh.
Yay! What? Yeah!
Yes.
Yeah!
We avoided getting...
Better.
Roasted in that ring. But what we could really use is something to cap this off.
Sure. Got any ideas on what would be good?
Mabo curry. Fried bread stuffed with curry.
You'd probably buy out the whole stock.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Yeah! Hey.
Yeah!
Hmm? Just...
I guess... Thanks.
Huh? Well... All right.
All right.
I guess. Whew. Got it.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Why are you staring?
Rinwell, mind if we chat a little? I'm surprised to see you up reading.
Oh, it's a book about magic.
I'm impressed you can read all that tiny text.
It's easy. Although I have to admit, the more I hate not knowing it all. So it pushes me to keep learning as much as I can so I can be a real expert.
So that's why you're studying by the...
Really?
Remember how you used...
Sure, but that's because I was still hiding a lot.
Definitely.
Are you saying I used to be like a rock?
My bad.
Well, I used to hate studying magic because but now, I don't think all magic is simply astral energy saying it out loud.
I think you have Laud.
What?
I mean, he...
Nope, he's gotten... You're crazy.
Are you saying you rather... I'd say the fact you can get so worked up about...
Sounds like someone wants me...
All right, all right.
Ugh, I'm not a little... Though, actually... Woo! Night, everyone! Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
I'm impressed how well balanced this thing is.
Is this the barrier that's keeping the Zoogle in that Nath mentioned?
Looks like it. Our Zoogle pal should be on the other side.
This barrier is weird. It looks old and half-finished. Plus, he said it was okay to break.
I mean, we won't need it anymore once the Zoogle's gone, right? So what does it matter? Did they really think that barrier was enough for a Zoogle like that?
It was. That thing was sturdier than you give it credit for.
Really? So that's the Zoogle, huh? This should be a piece of cake.
Don't get careless, Law. What do you want to do about that big one? Let's...
Underwrite 53.
Out of our way! Take this!
Anything in order is all mine! Bet that shell's hiding something tasty.
Between heaven and earth.
It looks like you've got this one covered.
Hurricane! Eagle Ride! It's go time! I'm just getting started! Wind! Burn in hell!
Annihilation!
Here I come!
Amazing.
Try this! An astral
That's my key! It's weakened!
Shut him in! I'm not done!
Do it!
It's over!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
A whirling
Here I
struggle.
come.
If it's in the sky,
I'm not
it's
done.
mine. Winds of heaven! Burst forth!
Eat this!
Hold on to your heart. Here I come!
It's on!
Its armor's too strong.
Then I'll split it open!
Be my guest.
Here comes something big!
Try to dodge!
Slice! I'm on! Freaking got it! Eat this!
A whirling struggle.
I'll tear you apart!
Winds of heaven! Burst forth!
I'm not done! Boys, right! Not today! Watch it! Let's tear him up! I could do without this pain. It's over!
Come forth, the healings of fury!
I'm on! I'll smash you! I'm gonna need more.
Piercing
I'll
burst!
finish you here and now!
Freeze laser!
Crush it! It's over! Oh, now you're rocking! Watch it! I'm ready to go! Force blast!
A wailing
You're
banshee of
finished!
lightning!
Now you see what I can do!
Amazing! Not long to go now.
We couldn't have done it without you, Renna.
Thanks.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Here, let
Take
me
it!
help.
Dance!
Dance in the wind!
First strike! Now, hold it freely!
Take it down!
Good!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
There we go, taken down.
Huh? What's a letter?
Hell if I know. I highly doubt that Zoogle was trying to guard it. Law.
Huh?
Something up?
It's from my old man, my dear son. I wonder how things will be between us.
In any case, I first want to congratulate you on all that you've accomplished. Making it this far requires a strong body, fine technique. If you have all of that, then that brings me to what as with all of us, there will someday come whether you'll live in a world where blood will no longer be. But even if peace still eludes us, then listen to others with an open heart. But don't be swept away. One more. If I ever see you again, I hope to say, know this. Whatever you think of me.
And there's nothing in this whole world.
Zephyr.
I can't believe.
Zephyr once told me that I think he wanted to make sure you know how he felt one way or another.
But that still doesn't explain.
Don't forget, we were led to this place.
Hey.
Hey.
I guess. No way. Damn.
Whew. This is...
Thanks.
Sorry about that, technical. Hopefully it's the book 8.
Hey, Alvin, what do you think of that chick over there? Good grief. Hey! Whoa!
Huh? Well...
Huh?
Yeah.
I guess...
Huh?
Got it.
Thanks.
Huh? That can't be.
I guess...
Great! Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah!
You dumb.
Whoa!
And then she has to come along and...
Hey.
We're doing some side quests today, and next part we'll do the story.
Fever or...
You dummy!
What did I do? Hey, Alphen, you mind if we take a bit of a detour?
It's fine by me, but what for?
Rinwell says there's a phantom flower that grows around here. We want to look for it. It won't take long, promise.
A flower, huh? All right, let's...
Look out! What the hell is that?
Stay calm, Law.
You just had to make things difficult for us, didn't you?
What are you muttering about? Focus or you'll get hurt.
Don't worry, I'll have you wrapped up in a flash. Anything in armor is all mine. Armor won't save you.
Do it!
Shoot on!
Get toasty!
Bird strike! What did I tell you? Don't get in our way! There! I'm on a roll now! It's over!
Come on, holy glimmer!
Rising light!
A chain between heaven and earth.
What the?
Watch out! It's changing its attack!
I'll tear you apart! Ready? Here I come! Armor won't save you!
Let's get you all tucked away!
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying? The waters of creation!
Void flash!
There you go! Don't let up!
Void flash!
Tidal wave!
I'll stop your movement.
I'll stop your life.
Anything in armor is all
You picked the wrong fight.
Come and get it! Great!
That'll make things easier.
Amazing.
Magic is there! Water this time!
Can't it just make up its mind?
Severing wind.
Super swallow dance! Talon hurricane!
Lunar outstanding form! The water's now!
Demon's descent! Flashing fang!
You're mine.
Chinese Arctic! Wait, where's the water go?
It's all dried up!
They're crumbling!
Now we beat the crap out of them!
Remind me to stay on your good side. It's so bright!
If the pain is what it is! Anything in armor is all mine!
They're not playing around!
Talon storm!
Severing wind. Void flash.
Lightning orb!
Talon
It looks like you got it!
You're mine.
Magic is there! I'm all stuffed up!
You're finished.
Get on board! Law, you alright?
Yeah, I'll be okay.
You require a hand.
Armor won't save you!
Burn in hell.
was with that. It was some sort of a Zoogle that could control light.
The true form of the Phantom?
What makes you so...
Because...
What the...
Whoa!
What the hell is that?
Whatever it is!
You guys, calm down! It's probably... No, I read about it in that book we found earlier. It's not dangerous at all.
So that's how it got its name then.
Positive. I think it's just a rare and unusual weather phenomenon more than...
Cislodia obviously used to be covered in darkness around the clock.
You could be right.
Sure, but it...
Well, sure.
Hey, who cares? Besides, that Zoogle...
Yeah,
It's such a gorgeous night sky.
Right.
It took a lot to get here.
I didn't do all that.
Well, I still really...
Hey...
Oh! Yeah.
Huh?
What a wonderful treasure this is.
This could be useful.
Side quests, love the side quests.
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
Let's see what's going on around here.
Yeah.
Hey, Rinwell?
They were kind. That's the part I liked. I never understood why I had to work so hard to learn math. Needless to say that... Of course, if I'd had known that... What about your...
Same deal. Run through the mill. It got bad enough that I ended up running away. And now, I've got that...
I know how that...
The first time we met, you risked using your magic to stop me from kicking my dad's ass.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Not really. Not...
Wow. Well, I won't...
He was...
That's just...
Hey!
Got it.
All right!
What is this place?
There's a hot spring here! So I built up...
What's up?
It is a place where hot water
Oh, it's a bad...
Think of it like soaking in a giant...
I say...
Whoa!
What?
I think not.
Oh boy.
Okay.
House Ilkaris will never...
Okay,
Oh, now you're up.
You're not undressing?
Hmm? Oh, could I trouble you?
Us? Why the hell?
Lift your leg, would...
Thank you.
I feel more... Doha?
Hmm? Oh, it's...
Is drowning other guests allowed place?
This is not... Still, it's...
The temperature?
If anything...
Really? Be right back. I'm gonna...
Man, he's got it.
Shion?
Alphen!
That was a fine bath in...
Yeah, we should...
Some walls are better.
Yeah.
Aw, are you tired, Poodle?
You sure he's not just trying to hide from us?
Yeah!
Looks like we're up.
Oh, I can't wait.
No peeking, okay?
Ha! You wish.
Take all the time you like.
I feel alive again.
This from the youngest of us.
Really, though, this is nice. I never imagined I'd get to have a group bath with you girls.
Gosh, Shion, your skin's so flawless.
You must tell us your secret.
Oh, thanks, girls.
It looks so silky smooth. I want to reach out and touch it.
Hey, hands off, remember?
You're so muscular, Kisara.
I'll pretend.
Law. There are some walls that boys are meant to surmount. Only by surmounting said walls does a boy become a man. And as it so happens, I can assist with that. Are you game?
Are you sure you...
Alphen!
If you say... That's not a bad...
You wouldn't deny me.
Indeed. You wouldn't take away the... Would you?
Alphen's pretty cool.
Well, he went...
You can't deny your own.
Yeah,
What was that?
the dirty-minded devils.
What? Alphen! What
I had no part in any of...
That was a fantastic...
Yes, we should.
I suppose some walls are better.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
I sense a strange power from this.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
Dohalim pancakes!
Huh?
Filled with equal parts delectable, enough.
That's quite the...
This is all new to...
Why, if it isn't Lord Do...
Might as well have some while we're here.
Indeed. However, I'm not...
At least let me show you... I'll also teach you...
Oh, this sounds...
Hey!
They were drawing Dohalim's face back there.
The recipe's light on ingredients.
Great!
Sure.
You're out, Alphen. You're out too, Kisara.
When what?
Yes!
Wait, what?
You
Great. Then I'll be the...
I can get...
Okay.
Hey!
Maybe we'll have some luck finding what we need at the farm.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Right. Thanks.
Oh! Whoa! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess he's...
Let's hear some thoughts from
Indeed. This is a high...
Expectation, sure.
I applied all of...
Well...
Nothing wrong with Shion.
I mixed in some candy that...
Oh, but it's quite,
Well, I should hope so. I put in as much food and sugar...
Our judge...
And not...
Now it's time...
What?
Dohalim pancakes!
I can't believe he...
Go on.
Well,
Not even...
Dohalim.
Indeed. I get... That's what makes pancakes are...
And you're out.
And just...
They're both just... How am I supposed...
Rinwell!
Okay, oh, no! Are you I...
Huh? Oh no.
It's nice and soft. The contrast of fluff. That, and I give...
Looks like you...
Huh?
She took off running to...
I may have done her... I guess I would...
You know...
I agree.
Yeah.
In fact, I...
Huh? I can't...
You just... Hey, look! Look, we've got way more animals.
I never imagined Law would have a knack for husbandry.
Makes sense since they're on the same wavelength.
Making me blush over here.
Law, maybe you should consider what that's... Right.
Sax Leo. Isn't that where Shion was being held? Shh.
Wasn't it beautiful? I can't wait for this.
We've reached our destination.
Hey, Law.
Yeah, I guess I got a little...
Yeah, a word of advice.
Man, can you imagine?
I meant in general, but...
Huh? Oh,
Either that, or may the trials and tribulations...
Romance? Like I'd be interested in that...
You know, I used to be a tom...
Look, it's not tomboys I've...
Hey, I missed... Thunder Blade! A little birdie told...
From the looks of it, it wouldn't be called the Spring of Youth.
Oh. Just great.
Cheers!
Cheers! What? Nice try.
Never.
Wait.
I couldn't catch it.
Oh, no.
I'm alone.
What can I do to get her to snap?
Alvin?
Shion, you're not alone. There's also this one, so please, we'll fight this to...
You dumb! That's not what I was upset. That said, even if your bouquet is...
I'm just glad I could help. And I made another...
You never cease to...
Then it's a
Indeed it...
Law.
Huh? Oh, it's nothing.
A promise.
Wait. You never know.
Yeah.
It'd make things difficult for you.
Yeah.
We've got to do... That's it.
We might not be able to...
Yeah, but...
Speaking of which...
Huh?
Indeed. What,
A Danon relic
I'll let you
exhibition.
serve as our...
Right. I'll stick...
And, if you could...
Who? Feeling better now, she...
I'm sorry I lost my cool like that.
Don't worry. It's not like I have any room for criticism.
Being a grown-up isn't easy.
Yes.
Excuse me!
Hey!
Really now?
What?
I see. Agreed.
Very nice.
Dohalim, the line of researchers is...
Alright, we're gonna end it here for today.
Perhaps I should have put more thought into
Gonna head into Renner. Thank you for watching.